Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with your host, Christopher LaPrath, and my name's Kenan. I produce the show and do this little introduction for you here. So, tonight, the title of the show is Plot Change. And before I get into that, for a quick plot change, I just wanted to do a quick piece of housekeeping. For anyone who might be joining us for the first time on any of the platforms out there, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, just say hi in the chat room so we know that you're here, and then we can give you your reading. Because the first time, there's no charge. Going forward after that, it's just $10 a reading, and then if you wanted to do a reading for every single show of the month, it's $100, which is we do a show 3 times a week, so that's a pretty sweet deal. Now, just a few quick things before I turn it over to Christopher here. And really, the biggest point of all, that this all... It helps to understand that the mind is programmable, and it's always being programmed. We're programming it right now, like you are watching the show. I am talking to you here now. So one thing that I've noticed is very helpful is not only pausing, but asking ourselves these questions like, is this thought that's happening right now helpful and healthy? And just that little tool, and then either accept or reject it. And it doesn't have to have judgment and energy to it, and I'm thinking negatively so I'm bad. No, that's not the point. It's just by asking ourselves these questions, it helps to program the mind to think of healthy and helpful things, rather than whatever unconscious thing is going on, like songs on the radio. I used to get songs stuck in my head so bad, like it got to the point where it would become difficult to get things done, like if I had a song stuck in my head. Anyway, I digress. I've been fairly successful at programming my mind so far, but basically, rather than just catching it in the moment, it's much easier to give ourselves a plan. This is why affirmations are extremely helpful. Saying positive things in the mirror, like I love you. Looking at yourself in the eye and saying I love you is such a powerful tool. I can't even tell you how much that's helped me. But these exercises, and even just imagining a happy place, right? The mindfulness exercise, going through and imagining piece by piece, like what do the walls look like in your happy place? What does the ground look like? All these little details, right? The more detail, the better. And all of these exercises, whatever it takes to derail that thought train from a negative track, just use any means necessary, because we want to stay on course to our dream life. And every single thought is creating one way or another. So it's important to get better at watching our thoughts in each moment, without judgment, again. And before I turn it over to Chris, my last thought is just to invite you all to let go of everything that's no longer serving you to your best and highest good. Everything that's no longer serving your happiness, which we've talked about before, is an optimized life. So thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
Wow, thank you so much, Kenan. That was really profound. First of all, I want to thank the Fleece Agency for sponsoring the show, and for Brick Road Coffee shop here in Tempe that sponsors the show. And the Fleece Agency is an amazing branding and marketing company. If you need any branding and marketing, they're definitely amazing people to work with. So thank you. I'm not asking you to go get a tattoo with this, but it's kind of important to remember. The term is plot change. Imagine going to a movie, and before you enter the theater, there's an usher at the door, and he tells you the entire story and the ending before you go into the movie. That would not be fun, and you would not get your money's worth. And you might be a little upset. Now, hold that thought. If you look back on your life, there have been so many surprising plot changes. When you fell in love, maybe you thought you were going to be with that person for the rest of your life. Maybe it didn't turn out. The job you took, the vacation you took that you thought was going to be wonderful, maybe didn't turn out so good. Or maybe it even turned out better than you thought. Plot change. That partner, plot change. That job, plot change. And I'll go back to that original thought. If we're walking into this life and there is an angelic usher going, okay, Chris, okay, Jared, okay, Kat, okay, Diane, okay, Lana, okay, everybody on the show, right? John, Marilyn. Okay, here's your life, and here's the ups and downs. Oh, and here's the plot changes. Oh, and here's the ending. You're like, wait a minute. No, I don't want to know. This is what this life is about. It is about plot change. So if you're going through something rough, look back on what you went through before when it was even maybe more rough or just as rough. You came out of it. Plot change. Okay. I just watched and I was bawling my eyes out at the end of this movie. I'm not going to tell you what it is, what the ending is, obviously, but it's called A Man Called Otto with Tom Hanks. Highly recommend you watch that. Talk about plot change. It goes where you just don't think it goes, and there's so many. It's not what you think it's about at all. I thought it was about a grumpy old man. Well, it can be, but there's so many plot changes, and when you look back on it, you'll see your life and all the different plot changes. And yes, there's been some really, really rough spots, but what do you say? Plot change. And that's what these readings are about. That's what this show is about. The word spelling or the word spell, right? You spell words. They're spells. They're blessings. They are prayers. And what I see in the cards, if I see anything a little off or a little dark, in my head I go, plot change for you. and then it creates it. So many of you, most of you, all of you have gotten back with really amazing, amazing stories. It's just how my brain works, but this is what the show is about. So if you know of anyone that needs a little pick-me-up or needs a plot change, that's what this show is about, to help you and assist you in those plot changes. Okay, great. Now, we have a group card. What's that? Oh, light the incense. Thank you. See, that was a little bit of a plot change there. I didn't light the incense right away. Great blessings to you, to assist you with any plot changes that you might like to do, and to move energy along that no longer serves you. And that's what our group card is about tonight. This is called Hathor Light Codes. Hathor was a goddess in Egypt, and they found carving statues 3,000 years BC. And she was the bearer or bringer of light. So one thing that really motivates you to clean is good lighting. So I got new lighting in my garage a few months ago. And man, I saw the dirt. Okay? but it is motivation. It was motivation for me to clean up. We got a new light in the kitchen, and you can see everything, and it helps you be able to clean it up. That's what this Hathor is. That's what this blessing, this plot change for you, is to bring in more light, because that is what this generation is about, and future generations, is to change the consciousness of this planet without it seeming or feeling daunting, without it feeling heavy and hard. No, this is like when the light comes on and you do see some places that need to be cleaned up, it's an opportunity, and it's something to be grateful for. It's not just this lifetime that we have been through plot changes. We have made potentially thousands of movies in the past. We have made these stories that's contributed to the consciousness of the universe. All of these experiences have been extremely powerful, as far as I'm concerned, to add to the experience of the universe. We've all been born. We've all died. We've all had wives and husbands and children and different time periods of history. We've been through that. And so when you're looking back, if you're going through any challenging times, you got this. You've got this, okay? With a little help from your friends. Okay? That's what this Hathor light is about. This is about bringing the light of truth, the light of the infinite sun, the light of understanding. And Kenan and I were talking about earlier, and then Scott, I was talking to Scott on the show about it today too, is that people only see what they're ready to see. And so, or people, is Scott on the show tonight?
Yes.
Scott, what was that quote that you told me that it had to do with that people only see what they're ready to see. It has something to do with that concept. If you can type something in, that would be hugely helpful. It'll allow me to get my voice back. I apologize. But this is all of you experiencing, this card is about all of you experiencing a full system upgrade. So what you might be feeling sometimes is a little bit discombobulated, a little bit frustrated, because that's that dirt being exposed, or that is that energy leaving your system. Okay? And the important thing is to be willing to see the dirt, right? And then, because if you can see it, you can clean it, or you'll have help that will come in and help you do that. People don't hear the truth until they learn it themselves. I love that. Thank you. I'm writing that down. Thank you, Scott. People don't hear the truth until they learn it themselves. And he was telling me about a director that he worked with, and he would come into the director and he would tell them this great idea. And they'd go, no. And then the director would come back the next day and go, oh man, I had this great idea. And it was Scott's idea. And Scott would just laugh, because people don't hear the truth until they learn it themselves. So we can be instruments. We can relay messages to people, but until they learn it themselves, and it could be the next day, could be the next year, could be the next 20 or 30 years, and be free of being caught up in that. But still, show your light, show the truth. This is the time of expansion and excitement. That's what this card is all about. An amazing time of expansion, an amazing time of enlightenment. Okay? So something ancient has awakened in you. Plot twist, right? And I'm talking to Scott here, who's a very, very well-known scriptwriter. He's done some really great movies, you guys. I can't wait for you all to meet him. But I can't wait for all of you to meet each other because you're all over the country. But this is the point of something ancient has been awakened in you, and you're remembering why you are here. I love that. That's what this card is about. So the light of Hathor be with all of you. Okay? Hats off to Hathor. Hats off to all of you. All right, who's on first?
Nice. It's John first.
Okay, John, here we go. So, when I pull a card, if you're new on the show, yes, I'm pulling it for that person, but it also applies in some way or shape or form to all of you. So, John, I'm going to remind you. So you see my fingers, right? You see how big this Lego is. I've had this. I had this on my desk. I've had it on my desk for years. I have a story around it that deals with this card. This was when the book The Secret came out years ago, and it was about manifestation. And I'm like, there's a piece missing in here. But I went home and I pictured, because one of the exercises is to really focus on just one object of something you can think of or something that you want or anything, just to practice. And for some reason I thought of a blue Lego. The next day I walked into the store, and now I was picturing one of the tiny blue Legos. Blue Legos, you know, that you, John, like Scott, you step on. I think Scott actually did that a few days last week. But those little tiny ones that are sharper than all get out. But when I walked into the store, I tripped over this. And it was way bigger than I could have imagined. Like, I pictured one of the small blue Legos. Universe gave me even something bigger. So I learned from that. Universe, give me this or something better. Mantra is, give me this now or something better. Because this is what the universe does. And rather than collapse the field on impossibilities, expand the field on possibilities. Constantly expand the field on possibilities. And understand that that can be a challenge sometimes, because from primordial times, mankind was programmed to be negative. And only in the past few dozen years have independence. You know, we talked about this on the show before, where centuries ago, your survival meant having a tribe and surviving with the tribe, hunting with the tribe, traveling with the tribe, sheltering with the tribe. But now you're moving out on your own. My whole point of this show and this card for you, John, tonight, and for all of us, is every one of us is the magician. Watch your words. Every word out of your mouth is a prayer. When you are cursing or you're talking bad somebody, and if you don't know the word aspersions, look the word aspersions up. Aspersions is like putting something or someone down or casting spells basically on them, talking negatively on them. When you do that, you're doing that to yourself. When you're talking badly about your job, when you're talking badly about a situation or badly about a person, it's not just the matter of informing, it's a matter of casting an aspersion. So my point is, John, bless, bless, bless. And if someone says something to you that's negative, in your head you can just go, Cancel, clear, delete. Cancel, clear, delete. And return to sender. Because it's going to return to sender anyway. But it doesn't have to get on you. Okay? This is like putting a shield up around you when they're throwing up. You don't have to get any of that on you. Okay? And this is one of your gifts. And this is a gift we all have. Pay attention to your words. And you'll be teaching this. Okay, who's next?
Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay. Boom. This is the Emperor card. Moving into being in charge of your life like never before. This is more money, but it's also more influence. Your influence is spreading. So this is a really great time. I'm not sure what you're working on, but it's going to help a lot of people. And are you doing something with your painting in the medium of orange? Or what is your connection with that color orange? It's funny because Scott and I today were talking about this orange. There's something with this orange and deep red. So that it's the color of the base chakra, and it's the color of that power chakra. And it's like this combination that's coming up. It's like your creative ability is being awakened even more. It'll feel like a compulsion. Like a compulsion to paint, to do your art. You have orange furniture, an orange van, and lots of orange. I love you. Okay, so this is your power chakra, and this is the acknowledgement of who you are as a power horse, power source. And you're connected with the divine with this, but this is where your more money coming in, success, but influence. Okay. The Scooby-Doo van. Was that the color of the Scooby-Doo van? I love that, Lindsay. Oh my God, that cracked me up. I love it. Okay. Austin. Okay, Austin. You're on the mark for happy colors. Absolutely. Okay, Austin, you got to move it. You got to move it. This is the Chariot card. New car, moving forward. That's what this card is about. New position, new... Okay, they're telling me to tell you, you know how sometimes when you're driving kind of a distance, and you kind of get into your head or thoughts, and then you get to your destination and go, how did I get here? Like I have no memory. How did I... Oh my God, was I sleeping? No. It's like you were on autopilot. There's a term for it with the brain and how that works. This is where the spirit motivated autopilot is moving you into a new direction. Up the game. I'm getting first class. Is it like, it's like you've seen I've seen on YouTube some of these new first class, basically they're cabins, but it's like Dubai. It's like someplace we would call exotic, but moving into that type of a field. Okay. With what you're doing. Yeah. I'm definitely getting first class. And I think we talked about Hawaii the other day, but there's something with the Arab Emirates, or there's something with Dubai, there's something with that part of the world coming up for you. And it's doing it first class and charging enough for it. Okay, who's next?
Nice, Marilyn Pitts.
Hey, Marilyn. Marilyn, if you're singing that Frank Sinatra song, doobie doobie doo, leave out the do and just be. So it'd be 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 be. It's the withdrawing, and this is the old programming leaving. Remember I talked about the light of Hathor? This is the light of Hathor coming in and focusing on being who you are now and having all that definement of doing, that defining of who you are by doing, and just be who you are by being. This is the Hermit card. It's allowing it to happen. So when you call an Uber or when you call a cab, you're in the back seat and you don't reach up or grab the wheel to help the driver. The universe is your Uber driver. Okay, everyone? The universe is your Uber driver. Tell it where you want it to go, or something better, like John, when we started the show off. I want to go here or something better. And allow it to take you. Because who you are is amazing. And I loved that you posted that picture on Facebook tonight about when you graduated nursing school. That was a fabulous picture of you. And really, it's the Hermit is actually your card whenever you pull cards always. Isn't that interesting? Well, there is more power in the quiet moments. You know, Scott knows this as a writer. Lindsay, you're an artist. Any one of you. John, you're a photographer. Any one of you that does any kind of art. It's the quiet moments that these miracles are captured. So this is a time for you to reflect and process. Great time for reflection and processing. Okay. I love that. Thanks for sharing that, Marilyn. What meditation time? Okay. Who's next?
Laurel's next.
Hey, Laurel. I love having you guys on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can hand somebody a Kleenex. Are you willing to be free of taking on any of their sorrow? Anyone that is drowning in sorrow, speak the word, allow them to remind them that you're there for them, but don't jump into the sorrow pool. Tell their guides, connect with your prayer, can go help this person. And again, Laurel, I highly recommend watching that movie, A Man Called Otto, OTTO, with Tom Hanks. It's on Netflix now. Because they're going to get through it. But because a lot of people, there's some people that are like psychic sponges. And that can be useful. But a loaded gun is also useful. But if you don't know how to use a loaded gun, it can be dangerous. Or not dangerous, but just harmful. So this is about are you willing to let go of taking on anyone's grief or sorrow? And then you can get deals with Kleenex at the dollar store, okay? Because they're only $1. And I'm not meaning to be funny about it, but it's like there's only so much you can do. It's important to allow people to go through their process and not take their learning, because their syllabus was written. They, on some level, came here to go through that lesson. Yeah, let them process. It's 1:25 now. What does that mean, Laurel? Oh,
I'm not sure.
okay, so Fixie Fly got it. Austin, you got it, what she was meant. Let them process. Yeah, let them process.
Oh, how much the tissues are.
Oh, $1.25 now. That's really good, Laurel. Okay, Austin, I'm glad you got that. All right, thanks so much. And anywhere, Laurel, that you've taken on sorrow for anyone else, can you easily and comfortably let that go now? Okay, that's what this card is about. Anywhere where you've taken on sorrow to process for anyone else, maybe your intention was good. Can you release that now? And always and forever be free of processing anyone else's sorrow. Okay. Hey, Gio. Hey, Kat. Jared. Again, I won't recommend going to get this as a tattoo. There's a couple things I would recommend you have written down. Number one is, oh, gosh, that's just not my policy. And interesting point of view. Wow, that's really an interesting point of view. Those two things. Interesting point of view. Oh gosh, that's really not my policy. Without causing a conflict or a war. So this woman is arising above the clouds and she's ascending. You're absolutely ascending. But she's also has a head. It's like the Red Queen, right? Red Queen in the Alice in Wonderland goes, off with their heads. You can do it with a variation on those two things. Interesting point of view. Oh gosh, that's just not my policy. People can't argue with policy. So it deflects from them trying to argue with you. So if you remember that book called The Celestine Prophecy, could you put that in the chat? It's Celestine, Celestine Prophecy. Great book. I read it every couple of years again. It talks about control dramas. Interrogation. Where were you? How come you were gone so long? Who'd you go with? Interrogation. Intimidation. Screaming, yelling. Poor me. And going aloof. So there's some people you want to, rather than chop their heads off, just energetically fire them. And they will leave your space. But they want to fight or argue with you to try to get your energy. But when you say things like, oh, that's just not my policy, that you're being like Neo in the Matrix, where you're just like, whoa, not there for their bullets. Or that other one. Okay. Oh, Cat. Okay. And then Lori's next. All right, Cat. And so Cat. Be free of listening to the naysayers, Cat. Oh, yeah. So this is a little bit more of an aggressive card than what Jared got. So Jared, that was about speaking your truth. And Kat, this card is, again, so both of these cards are ascension cards. So you're both amazing. You're moving up, you're moving forward, you're making an impact, you're creating amazing, amazing things in your life. You know, Dr. Jared, you're opening this new clinic, and Kat, I mean, there's amazing things happening with both of you. But there's help coming in. There are, if you look at this card, Cat, there are like these, we'll call them the little people. They're like cherubs on this card, but it's like even the smallest blessing, even the smallest amount of money to come in to help you do this, it's going to come. It's coming in. And you never know where it's coming from. It's coming from surprising places. It's not going to come from people that you think, but it'll come from surprising places. Okay. Hey, Lori. Thanks for being here again tonight. So, Lori, when you go to Home Depot and you buy a ladder, you try to buy one that is not made of swords or sabers. I mean, it'll work, but it's going to cut you up. So, So you're a great person and you've got some really great potential. But are you willing to let go of projections or belief systems that were put upon you about the belief about yourself or about how the world is? And because swords are offensive and defensive, they can be used for both. And rather than cutting up yourself in any negative thoughts or others or the world or the way situations are, what you're doing is you're putting a prayer out to the universe. The universe is like, oh, I guess if she wants more of that, I guess we'll give her more of that to match her frequency. This is about you either getting rid of this ladder altogether, or at the very least, wrapping each blade around like 50 yards of cotton swath. So you're not cut up by what other people say and what other people say about you, what other people say about the world. Like, I don't even watch the news anymore. I just don't. Because, and the good news is that you're actually going to come out of this. This is the Ace of Cups. It's going to take some retraining. Okay? Retraining, but it's absolutely going to be worth it. That you deserve great things to come to you. Can all of us go, yes, I deserve these amazing things to come? All right, who's next? Hey, Diney. Okay. Get you going here. Okay. This is adjustment. You're needing an adjustment in the hip area. There's a hip. The hip is affecting the right hip is affecting the left shoulder. There's an adjustment needed here, like literal, like a chiropractor, or not a chiropractor, not like a general snap, pop, crack chiropractor, but like a massage. A massage would do it. But whatever area of your body is hurting, have them. So let's just say this is your body here. And let's say your shoulder's hurting. Have them work this area of the hip or the lower back. Okay, it's just the opposite. A massage therapy would be really, really good. Or it could be acupuncture. Anyway, there's some energy work that is needing to be done here, but it's definitely not a snap, crackle, pop chiropractor. And and if you could order those, like on Amazon, they have those they're balls. They're at about this size, and they have like bumps on them, and you can kind of even put those on your lower back when you're laying down on bed, or one of those foam rollers, those stiff foam rollers, because you're needing to get the circulation up and down your spine better. Okay. All right. Who's next?
Very good. It's Lana. Wait.
Hey, Lanny. Awesome. Oh, I dropped the card. I'll be right back. This is booking a flight. This is I don't know if you're planning a trip like Vegas or Phoenix, but I'm getting this area of the country, Phoenix, Vegas, California. You know what? I think it's you got to be by the ocean. You've got to take some time by the ocean. Or by a body of water. Ocean would be great. But it's definitely not Oregon or Washington. Could be even Mexico. That's coming up. So it's going to be a really great trip. It's more of a revitalizing trip for you. Also, your thoughts are soaring. Your ideas, your connection with the divine. And so I'm glad this is toward the end of the reading tonight, because this just goes up the line to everyone on the show, where your awareness is really extending and growing. But that would be a really great trip to plan. And it might even be Mexico. Okay.
Nice. Last for tonight is Scott.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for being here. This is recognition. This is the man behind the curtain. This is your identity being revealed. This is that they're showing me the whole last toward the end of the Wizard of Oz, right? Where Toto pulls the curtain back, and there you are. It's a recognition of people seeing you for who you are, what you stand for, your talent. Say thank you. I'm important. I'm important. You know what? Who are we not to be important? We're all important. This is a great mantra for all of us. I am important. This is the woman behind the veil presenting herself. This is spirit. This is spirit emerging in you and through you. And what a great way to end the show, because it started with Hathor. Well, this is the Thoth deck that's very similar to Hathor. That's really odd, because the first card was a completely different deck that talked about Hathor. But this goddess of enlightenment, may she be with you all, this empowerment, this understanding, this God-given grace, however you all want to term it, however you see it, it's this revelation, these knowingnesses that are coming through. And then, who are you not to be great? Do we have everybody?
I think so. Teresa Mullen actually just jumped on the show.
Teresa?
Yeah, she gifted a subscription.
Well, thank you, Teresa. Hang on. Here we go. I'll pull a card for you. Thanks for joining us. So, Teresa, have you ever had guests that really overstayed? You know, it's like 9 o'clock and the party's over and they just want to stay and visit. And you don't want to be rude. You know what? It's okay to be rude. It's okay to go, enough is enough. Wrap it up. This is the message for you is wrap it up. So this is like Jared's card, where you don't have to be rude or mad, but it's definitely putting your foot down. And you absolutely have two amazing, great feet. And it's okay to put them both down and go, enough is enough. And sometimes it does help to have validation. So if you need, you want to call or text or something, but because some of these people that come into our lives, they have some very odd takes on life. There's something on them. There's something running their systems. And if you say anything, you can come across as crazy to them, which then makes it worse. But this is wrapping it up with something or someone that no longer serves you to your best and highest. And it feels like friends, it feels like family. It's okay. Let it go. Let it go. This is, again, right, the theme of the show tonight was plot change. It's a plot change. Well, Scott's a screenwriter. He knows, right? He knows what a plot change is in literary settings. It happens with us all the time in real life. Plot change, but this is completing, but also the completion card, Teresa, is a new beginning. Okay? So it's a brand new way of looking at things. It's another level of freedom and understanding and getting it. Okay. We got everybody?
That's it tonight, yeah.
All right. Thank you all very, very much. We'll do this again tomorrow night, Monday night, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Great blessings to you. Have a great night.